Okay, so let me ask you, can reason tell us anything? There was, believe it or not, people that thought that reason doesn't give us direct awareness of anything. It can take observations, and it can do stuff with observations, but it can't tell us anything directly. Well, it will probably not be a surprise to you that I think that reason does tell us things. I think, like I mentioned in a different video, I think that there's lots of knowledge that we know only by reason. 1 plus 2 equals 4, logic, things of ethics, justice, lots of stuff. So let me just mention that there was a school of thought that felt during the Middle Ages and later on with Spinoza and Leibniz that reason is the really only direct awareness we have. Observations are secondary to reason as evidence. And so Immanuel Kant came along and sort of asked different questions on both of these. Well, let me just get to the basic thing that he asked. After sort of asking enough questions on both of these schools of thought to sort of like weaken them, he asked the most basic question that there has been asked in philosophy for a long time. Is synthetic a priori knowledge possible? What does that mean in English? That means to say the thing in itself, which philosophers generally called synthetic knowledge. They thought it was generally accepted that synthetic knowledge that is the only real knowledge that there is out there. They didn't think that reason could prove very much because of the regress of reason. There was that problem, along with other ones. Kant sort of showed that many contradictory things can be proved by reason. So he wanted to know if synthetic knowledge, that is, knowledge of the thing in itself, of objects in the physical world, can be known through reason, by not observation and not derived from observation. So he had a certain answer to that the mind provides the conceptual framework for it. But that won't be what I want to say over here is I want to bypass that exact that answer of Kant and get down to what I think that reason does tell us. This is why I brought up the whole video before about universals. I believe reason tells us about universals. That is what reason tells us. It tells us 1 plus 2 equals 3, rules of logic, rules of ethics. Those are all rules that are not synthetic. They are universal principles, and they must be true. But reason would also apply to things. Okay, so that would be what reason would tell us. But then the question is, well, if reason only, well, there's two aspects of objects themselves. And now we're getting back to Aristotle, kind of. And I do want to get back to Aristotle at some point. But before I do, let me just mention this basic thing that what is the problem with the thing in itself, the quid juris? Well, basically, simply put, let's say I have a ball in my hand, I can feel it, I can bounce it, I can see it, I can hear it bounce. But how do I know that any of these things that I feel, I experience about the ball, how do I know they have anything to do with the ball in itself? The ball must be something out there, but how do I know I have anything to do with it? Just because I have a representation in my mind doesn't mean that I actually have something to do with it, that I know anything about the ball. So that's knowing something about the ball. That's what Kant calls synthetic knowledge. You could relate that to the idea of Aristotle, Homer Vitsura. I want to mention that Homer, what was usually translated as matter, has nothing to do with matter as we understand it today. The Homer of Aristotle, you take away the tsura from it, it's nothing that has any form at all, or anything you can see at all. So it's nothing to do with matter as we know it. But it does relate to the thing in itself as far as I can see. And so therefore comes my sort of answer, or my explanation of this whole difficulty that the quid juris, the thing in itself, which the whole Kantian philosophy rises or falls on. I believe that reason tells us about universals, and that the thing in itself, in fact, I believe like there's a school of thought that says, well, the thing in itself you can't really know by the actual object itself. You can't really know by reason or by observation. There's this dual aspect of representation. At least that's how Schopenhauer put it, you know, the half in the observer, half in the object itself. There's another school of thought that derived from this, that we'd actually do know things in themselves. We know about substance, but we don't know it by a priori, and we don't know it by observation, but we do know it. So how do we know it? Well, it's a third type of knowledge, a type of intuition, or a window well, in every aspect of creation has to exist there. So that gives my idea about the different aspects of creation. Most universals, I think, have to hit sort of a ground of existence in order to exist. Wideness needs to hit the ground of existence in order to exist. And these shechvot and these grounds of existence are on many different levels until you get to the spiritual plane. And each of these levels, there's the window to that existence. Okay, well, thank you. That's my video for today.